Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Try to get adjusted here, get some light. I want to say good morning, guys. Welcome to Legal Wars Podcast. It's your boy Ghost Rider, man. You know what I'm saying? Day 52 of the We the People tour, man. Out here in Michigan still, man. You know what I'm saying? Before we get started with the content, man, because I'm going to try to jump right into it if I can get my light straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep that background for you guys. Before we jump into the content, I just want to let you guys know that we do have vlogs up available to be watched. You know what I'm saying? I'll go ahead and get the intro out the way while people come in. As you guys come in, make sure y'all double tap the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. We got a lot of content to go over. So, guys, welcome to Legal Wars Live. It's the We the People tour, which is the second tour of the year. We kicked off 2025 with the Texas tour, Still We the People, which was 85 days all over the great state of Texas. It's during this time when I was in Texas when I became familiar with the absolutely hottest Democratic or perhaps any representative, yet alone possibly any congressperson in Congress, Representative Jasmine Crockett. You guys will hear me shout out her a lot, man. She real hot, man. Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? I stayed in Texas for a little bit over 2 years. So I got to not know personally Miss Crockett, but as a representative, know her body of work. You know what I'm saying? In her job capacity. She's a gorgeous 44-year-old litigator representing the 30th district in Texas. Miss Crockett and I don't see eye to eye on politics, on everything about politics. I don't think two politicians do. Two Democrats don't, I don't believe. Two Republicans don't, I don't believe. I'm an independent. She's a Democrat, so you know we definitely don't. But I will say one thing, she fights for the people, and she is the single politician I will support over any politician. So if you guys can't see with me, man, it don't matter what party you in. I don't care about any of that. Kian, good morning, good morning. As you guys come in, Kian, you too, I ask that y'all double tap the screen. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you could go live every time we go live. Most importantly, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats. You heard me say it don't matter what party you in. Jump down in the comments and say what's up. Night Fight, what's up? So, guys, I'm going to keep going with the intro. Night Fight, can you double tap the screen for me? Azara, y'all like the video for me, please. James Bond, y'all please like the video. Thank you guys for your support. Also, guys, while in Texas, the original We the People contains over 6 interviews, okay? It's a 20-plus minute documentary, which was uploaded to YouTube. Next, we have We the People 2, which I recorded when I first started this current tour I'm in on the 52nd day. Spent 20 days in Tennessee in the Appalachian and the Smoky Mountains, and that vlog also is now playing on YouTube. Just go to the Legal Wars Live landing page and click on videos. Guys, this past September the 2nd, this past Tuesday, we premiered We the People 3, Lost in the Midwest Fighting for Justice. Guys, that was just this Tuesday, brand new vlog. I would advise you and ask you and thank you guys in advance if y'all go watch all 3 We the People vlogs in the series, you know what I'm saying? And guys, finally, last but not least, do not forget, it's not over yet, man. We still in the middle of this thing, you know what I'm saying? Before we get to the news and analysis, I just want to let you guys know that this is, again, this is day number 52 of the tour, okay? And then I have another vlog coming out. That's going to be this upcoming Tuesday on the 9th at 8 a.m. Eastern times, okay? So this year, totally, I was on the road 5 months total. Of course, I said the first 3 months in Texas, and then through a variety of states, you know what I'm saying, Illinois, and then here in Michigan, Tennessee. So let you guys know that about this Tuesday, guys. Please go check out all the We the People vlogs, man. They're up on YouTube right now. You know what I'm saying? The We the People tour. Guys, as y'all come into the stream, I ask that y'all please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Also, guys, if you guys want your comments read, you want to start a conversation, or if you want to donate to the channel, just hit that button with the $ in it, and your donations are much appreciated. So, guys, in just a second, we're going to get started with the content. I'm going to jump out the way for just a minute. You know what I'm saying? I usually give it about 5 minutes before we start. Starting a little early, you know what I'm saying? Because we got content to go over today. So I'm going to jump out the way for just a second, and then we'll just go ahead and get started. We got a lot to go over. As you guys come in, make sure y'all double tap that video for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Man, it's been beautiful out here, man, in the state of Michigan. If you guys don't know, you know what I'm saying, ghostwriter from down south, you know what I'm saying? So used to it being like a little warmer. It's a little more chilly up here. Got to get adjusted to it, but it don't matter, man. We gonna push through it. It's beautiful out here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to bring you guys this great content while I'm out here on the road talking to people and everything like that. So, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Depending on how President Trump's administration ends, the incumbent party candidate will always have an uphill fight. I'm saying they always do anyway. That's the same thing that happened with VP Harris and Joe Biden. But what I'm saying is, depending on how his administration ends, it could be a lot harder than that, man. So our source for the news story is the Associated Press. It was written on August 27th, if you guys want to go check it out. So a Democrat has won a special election for an Iowa State Senate seat, okay? So it was a special election. It was recent, a couple days ago, okay? And it was a state Senate seat. But it doesn't matter. Still the same voters vote, Republicans and Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Same district. You know what I'm saying? Republican and Democrats, okay? Not only was it a district held by Republicans, they voted heavily for President Donald Trump in 2024, adding to the Democratic Party's hope that it could flip more seats during the 2026 midterm elections. Democrat Catelin Drey handily defeated Republican Christopher Prosch in Tuesday's election, according to unofficial results from the Woodbury County Auditor's Office for the district that covers Sioux City and the Republican stronghold of northwestern Iowa. The special election had been called after Republican Senator Rocky De Witt died in June of pancreatic cancer. So, guys, we see that what the voters are saying or what the voters are thinking, that's an early referendum on President Trump's administration. I can identify as a conservative, you know what I'm saying that I am morally conservative, a lot of physical issues, a lot of political issues. I could say that I am conservative. But that being said, my opinion really doesn't matter. And I can say that easily as an independent because I know it matters about the voters. What we usually think is right or wrong or left or right or up or down, the voters, they might tend to think totally different. So regardless of how good I think President Trump's administration is up to this point, there's a referendum a couple weeks ago. There was a special election the end of August, okay? 8 months in for President Trump in Iowa, a safe red district. President Trump won handily. And a Democrat, Catelin Drey, she flipped it. This is rural America. Has to be petrifying for the Republicans. Okay, fewer than a quarter of registered voters turned out for the special election. Okay, Drey's win breaks Republican supermajority in the 50-member Iowa Senate, giving Democrats 17 seats to the GOP's 33. So you see that this is a super red state. The addition of Drey's seat means Republicans would need the support of at least one Democrat to confirm appointments to state agencies and commissions by Governor Kim Reynolds. The win follows other Democratic victories in the state this year, including the pickup of another state Senate seat in January special election and an Iowa House seat in April. So here's a safe red state, okay? Iowa. Think of your safe red states. Mississippi, Alabama, you know what I'm saying, Texas. And so you're looking at 3 elections since President Trump won, and the Democrats won them all. You think I'm the only one noticing this? I'm talking about out of the political people, the political strategists. Guys, welcome in, y'all. Please double tap the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell so you guys could jump down in the comment section every time we go live. Okay, so in March, a Democratic candidate for Southeast Iowa House District narrowly lost in what would have been a typically easy win for the Republicans. Man, oh man. Is Iowa going to turn blue next election? The Iowa Republican Party downplayed Drey's win. That's what they're supposed to do. National Democrats were so desperate for a win that they activated 30,000 volunteers. Who cares? If they activated 1 million volunteers, who cares? That's that's something that the losing side says, man. They're so desperate for a win that they activated 30,000 active volunteers and a flood of national money to win a state Senate seat, special election by a few hundred votes. Man, I'm saying this was a safe red seat. So if they won it by a few hundred votes, who cares? They won it. If they activated 1 million volunteers, who cares? Maybe they should have activated 5 million in the presidential election. You feel what I'm saying? Who cares? Democrats are buoyed by the win, saying it builds on their momentum in special elections this year, including those in districts Trump won in 2024. As Trump and Republicans wreck the economy and erode democracy with power-grabbing schemes, Democrats' special election wins should send a flashing warning to the GOP. Voters are rejecting the failing Maga agenda and leaving Republican candidates in the dust. And this is according to Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee President Heather Williams. Democrats are hoping that Drey's victory telegraphs a win for them and Iowa's U.S. Senate race next year. That's the doozy. That's the big one. How many seats in Congress can the Democrats flip next year? This is a referendum on President Trump's economy, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, President Trump, when he was running for election, he said, I'm going to do A, B, C, D, and E for the American people. Y'all jump down in the comments. Let y'all voices be heard. Has he done A? Has he done B? Has he done everything he said he was going to do for the American people? So the American people have expectations for President Trump. The Republican Party have expectations for President Trump. The Democrats, the independents, the whole world literally has expectations for the American president. But the only thing that's going to matter is what do the voters say? Well, we call it the incumbent party. President Trump and them won the election. Just like last time when VP Harris was running, Joe Biden and VP Harris and them was the incumbent party. People hold high standards on the incumbent party. You see what I'm saying? Because the voters are expecting to see some things from President Trump. The voters who voted for President Trump for immigration, are you guys satisfied? Are you guys not entertained? If you voted for President Trump for foreign policy or for cutting the budget, but the vast majority of people voted for President Trump for affordability, that's the main thing. And so you see in the referendum, this is what the voters are thinking so far of the first 8 months. This is petrifying for the Republicans in a safe red district. Okay. So Republican Senator Joni Ernst, if y'all know Joni Ernst, sometimes she sided with Democrats. So if she's doing that, we could say maybe her district, you know what I'm saying? Like they a little soft towards the Democrats anyway. And she's faced recent scrutiny for comments in support of unpopular policies taken up by the Trump administration. Well, maybe that's not good though for her and her district. Especially if you're seeing what's going on in Iowa, where all these Republican districts in special elections, these Republicans aren't that safe. You know what I'm saying? I think that this is a real wake-up call to the fact that Iowans are not happy. And if they aren't happy in Iowa, in middle America, and rural America, and red America, then they probably aren't going to be happy, the majority of them, in a lot of more red states. You know what I'm saying? Rita Hart, this is her speaking. She said, this gives us a real reason to believe that we are every opportunity to win that Senate seat and put it in the Democratic column. Got them fired up. Democrats coming back, they fired up. And May Ernst's report about Medicaid cuts, at a town hall drew a firestorm of criticism. And we ain't even talked about that yet. Healthcare has always been, in my opinion, since President Obama won, the Democrat stronghold. You know what I'm saying? When you get President Obama in for 8 years, you pass landmark legislation, and then you get President Trump for 4 years, where he kind of made an attempt to get rid of Obamacare, was unsuccessful. When President Biden come in, they're probably just like a little laid back, lackadaisical about healthcare, but I don't think they will. This is a prediction. You hearing this from Ghostwriter today, September the 6th, day 52 of the We the People tour. I don't think for long, if they're running elections, especially after those Medicaid and those Medicare cuts start hitting, I think they'll probably circle back around to healthcare. Healthcare is 20% of the United States economy. It is a humongous issue. And I believe with those Medicaid and those Medicare cuts, the Republicans gave the Democrats a gift. And I said it before. I agree and I like a lot of things in those bills, but those are two things that I do not agree with or like. You know what I'm saying? Ernst has said that she will announce in the coming weeks whether she will seek re-election. I'm going to stop right there. Guys, as y'all come into the video, make sure y'all double tap the screen for your boy, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, man. I'm finna right back in the content, man. I just want y'all to get a view of that beautiful, beautiful scenery, man. I'm gonna let y'all think about that, man. Let me run that back one more time, okay? Listen to this, y'all, okay? Ernst has said that she will announce in the coming weeks whether she will seek re-election. That is a theme I am seeing from a lot of Republicans. I heard Tom Tillis say this. We're not talking about brand new Republicans, bottom of the line. We're talking about clouded, goated senators. This woman is a senator, a female senator, Republican senator from Iowa. You see what I'm saying? And she's saying she don't know if she could seek. She's given every indication that she intends to run. So they're saying she wants to run, but they don't know if she will. Just like Tom Tillis came out and said, hey, after that big, beautiful bill, man, I got 1 out of 5 people in my district are on Medicaid and or Medicare. And he seen that bill and he knew it was going to devastate his chances of winning re-election. So he voted against it. Said he was going to retire. I'm saying if Joni Ernst is doing the same thing, man, we talking about senators. We're not talking about Congress. We talking about senators. You know what I'm saying? She said she announced the campaign managers in June, as well as October Day for annual fundraiser. So she knows she gonna run. You know, you might say, Ghost, well, they always do that. Maybe so, but I'm saying she probably thinking it's a chance that she shouldn't, or thinking it's a chance, definitely thinking it's a chance that she won't win. If she does run, she faces a couple of GOP primary challengers, including former state senator Jim Carlin and Navy veteran Joshua Smith. Want to salute all the veterans in the stream right now. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Ghost Rider is a veteran, 92 Gulf, United States Army. So thank all the veterans in the stream for your service. A crowded field of Democrats is also challenging Ernst, including Democratic State Representative Josh Turek and State Senator Zach Walz, former Chamber of Commerce President Nathan Sage, and Des Moines School Board Chair Jackie Norris. Democrats coming out swinging. Man, I heard a lot of legacy media pundits and people on, you know what I'm saying, on social media saying that after the Republicans won, I know you guys heard this too, saying the Democratic Party was finished. That is nonsense. These people are talking like they don't know what the history of politics is. Let me give you guys some analysis. I spoke on this, but I don't want to dwell on it because I think betting against President Trump can be unwise. We've seen that a lot of times. Sure, there are people who just don't like him and are betting against him. And no lie, those August job numbers should ring alarm bells. 22,000 jobs added. Oh, yeah. And I said before that President Trump should readjust his strategy to match what's going on in the political world, because although he had a strong and busy first 8 months, in my opinion, maintaining that is the entire key. That is the key. Now, the stock market right now looks great. And it's probably about to look a whole lot better, just as we said, okay, with the interest cuts that Jerome Powell's probably finna do. But what I'm about to tell you guys, before we get into the Republican candidates, because that's what this stream is about, and whether or not the MAGA branded candidates will be able to win and survive past 2028. I think the next year, the next 12 months is crucial to President Trump's legacy for two reasons. Not only the way he will be remembered, but also the candidates like Don Jr. or Governor DeSantis, or maybe even VP Vance, that will be directly linked to the president. It is my belief if the next 12 months don't go as planned, meaning recession, world wars, or chaos, or civil unrest in the homeland, what we saw in the Iowa State House could signal what could happen in 2028, something that is very common in American politics, and that next year we could see a blue wave, and the Democrats could quite possibly not only take back the House, but possibly pull the impossible and either pick up 4 seats in the Senate, or maybe 2 or 3, or cut the Republican majority. This is what's at stake. Furthermore, if we didn't hit the golden age, or don't hit the golden age, or there's a stock market crash, God forbid, or some economic uncertainty, or even if inflation isn't fixed, it's quite possible. It is quite possible that America will want to run as far away from the Trump years as possible, thus rendering all the MAGA candidates ineffective. I mean, looking at that race in Iowa, okay, I think the Republicans sense it too. That's why they redrew the lines in Texas. But the Democratic states are redrawing lines so that the jury is still out to see if the Republicans could actually pick up a seat or two just from the attempt. They might lose a seat or two just from the attempt. In addition, just to think how that district swung 20 points without a recession. For the Republicans, the next 12 months of President Trump's administration are so crucial. That being said, I ask that you guys will like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Also, guys, if you want your comments read, you want to start a conversation, or you want to donate to the channel, hit that button with the $ in it and your donations are much appreciated. Now, guys, saying that, the remaining of President Trump's term, if it looks like the first 8 months, then in my opinion, there is a good chance that MAGA candidates will have as good as any other to win. In my opinion, it will all depend on the next 12 months. Okay, so before we go over the current list of Republican candidates, this is what I want to tell you. To be fair, okay, if you have any candidate who would have won, if VP Harris would have won, if, of course, President Trump won, or Joe Biden wouldn't have got out the race, it was already predicted that we probably would be going into a recession this year. How many of you guys heard that? You know what I'm saying? You guys put that down in the stream if you heard that. It was predicted that we probably would be going into a recession this year anyway. Now, with President Trump, due to the tariffs and the political, I would say, unrest with using troops and how he's shaking things and disrupting things, with that being the case in his situation, I believe a recession for him would be devastating. Especially if you think about it, like, look, I've said this before. I really believe in my heart that those inflation numbers are here to stay. You go back to gas isn't 99 cents anymore. You get that? It used to be a quarter. But over the time, the prices walk up. So the prices of things just walked up. And the walk up in 2022 was just happens to be part of President Biden's administration. You follow me? Now, if President Trump, he would have came out and said, hey, listen, guys, what happened during President Biden's administration was just ordinary inflation that happens every 20 years. It just caught him flat-footed in the middle of his administration, and it surprised the American people. So I can't promise you guys that I'm going to be able to lower the prices back to they were when I was president the first term. It just so happens that even President Biden having a pretty solid economy, because you can hate on him all you want to, the historic unemployment rate is a solid economy. You see what I'm saying? Maybe the GDP and all those things weren't as flashy and as strong as how President Trump and the Republicans like to do things, because they're winning and losing by what they're doing. But what I'm saying is President Biden had a pretty solid economy. Now, if you come in and you're saying what President Trump is doing, that, hey, listen, if it's any other candidate, first of all, running against President Biden, if it's any other candidate running against him, okay, I don't think President Biden or VP Harris would have had as hard of a time trying to explain inflation. You feel that? But because you had a candidate that ran against them, that people remember, hey, when this guy was the president, the prices were low, and yada, yada, yada. So they're taking it like President Trump is the reason why the prices was low, right? So President Trump grabs onto that, he builds onto that, and he comes forward and he says, hey, listen, I'm going to be able to lower the prices on all goods. President Biden's the worst president in the history of America. He doesn't know what he's doing. VP Harris would be worse. And so I'm going to come in and I'm going to lower the price on all goods. He owned inflation. I think that's the difference with everything. Because he owned inflation, because of that, listen to me now, I'm cooking now. I'm cooking. I don't feel all the way right myself, but I know I'm onto something right now. Because he owned inflation, because of that, I think it will destroy that Republican Party. If those prices aren't adjusted, I think it would almost destroy it, literally. You know what I'm saying? Look, 8 months in, Catelin Drey is in a safe red district. Safe red. In a safe red state in rural Iowa. Safe red. Everything about that spells red. In a district, President Trump won by double district. And she wins it after 8 months President Trump been in office. Now, I told you, Ghost, I got a lot of conservative things about me, So seeing what a conservative president is doing, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really move me that much, but the American people are speaking. And I've said this 1,000 times that all the Democrats have to do is ride that affordability, because I believe that President Trump made a fatal flaw by owning that inflation. He owned it. He said, I'm going to lower the prices. I don't think they're ever going to lower significantly enough for him to get a victory for doing that. Do you understand that? Nationally, in July, gas was a little bit cheaper nationally. Maybe not in your neighborhood, but nationally. Nationally, in July, rent was a little cheaper. Groceries was about the same. Some places, you know, maybe slightly higher, maybe slightly lower, but eggs, namely, was much cheaper than they were a year ago. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying, even though those numbers, it ticked slightly, even though the numbers ticked slightly in his direction, when we look at the elections, it's not showing in the voters, because they're expecting more from President Trump. And I've said that. Y'all could look at it like, oh, Ghost, yeah, he like Jasmine Crockett, he like AOC, he like VP Harris. Oh, yeah, he gal power with Democrats. He believe in that handing out, hand-me-down, handout stuff. You could say that all you want to. All I'm going to let you know is every time you put a Republican up, that when the Democrats come, if they're smart, you know what they're going to be doing? They're going to say, hey, these people aren't doing nothing for you. They're trying to cut your insurance. They're giving tax breaks to rich and wealthy people, while you guys' life isn't getting easier, and they promised it was going to get easier. But tell me what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you the world. The whole world. You don't believe me? That's what President Obama did. That's how the Democrats get down. Look, the reason why the Republicans had a chance, because y'all remember, President Trump is that president that before those COVID checks went out, he said, hold up, y'all bring them checks over here. Let me put my name on them checks, Donald J. Trump. You know what I'm saying? When a lot of African Americans getting PPP loan, I could speak for this. I know that they associated that with President Trump, and he owned it. That's what I'm saying. During that national disaster, I think that first hurricane that went through all those red states, he went up there and said, oh, VP Harris, and they're not giving them but $750. We dismantling FEMA. He's owning that. And then because he owned that, listen to me now, I'm trying to tell you, because he owned that, the majority of the voters who make $50,000 or less a year, all these voters are known as Democrats. I heard some prominent Republicans, some Republicans that I really like. I heard them out of my own mouth. I could call his first and last name. You guys gonna know this man. I heard him during President Obama's administration. He was calling them food stamp voters. And so for the last how many elections, those food stamp voters, we are knowing them to be blue voters. They're not blue voters. The majority of them voted for President Trump. When I go over some of these Republican candidates, I'm going to call to you a senator from Missouri, a young, very smart Republican senator who recognizes this. And I think those Medicaid and those Medicare cuts, when they kick in, I think that's going to kill the Republican Party. Not just in the midterm, I think that's going to kill them in 2028. I really believe that if you get a good, solid Democrat running, I think it'll really hurt him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't care if you guys like Governor Newsom or not. He's good at speaking like fighting. So somebody like him who could speak well, he gonna come out and say, hey, President Trump promised to lower the prices. Did your prices get any lower? He promised to have a greater access to the American dream. Or how is it looking for you 4 years later? Not only did he do that, he did what the Republicans been doing. He gave the richest people in America a tax break, $200,000+ tax break. What he gave to you? That's what them Democrats gonna be saying. And it's hard to run. It's hard to win against that, man. And if you do not believe me, that's why I started this content with that story about Catelin Drey in a red state, in rural America, red America, in a red district that President Trump won by 10+ points, and she flipped it. So it don't matter how I feel. It don't matter how good of a job I think he's doing. It don't matter how you feel. It don't matter how bad of a job you think he's doing. It matters about the collective group. That's what we study at political science. Groups of people and politics. Groups. That's what matters. I could feel how I feel. His base gonna feel how they feel. The hard left gonna feel how they feel. None of that matters. All that matters is the group of voters collectively. And they spoke in Iowa, and for President Trump and them, it does not look good. So, guys, that being said, I just want y'all to understand that. I believe that the next 12 months is crucial for President Trump. We know this president has promised to get rid of inflation. Remember, a good stock market. We got the good GDP, economic growth. He's saying inflation's gone, and he's coming into the White House, and he doing all these tariffs. So while he's doing the tariffs, I guess the American people, they really don't care because they still voted for him. He said he was going to do them. It's not like he's doing something shady and he's sneaking them. You see what I'm saying? He having to fight court cases by him. But what I'm saying is, if you do all that and you get a recession, his recession is different than a Kamala Harris recession. Does that make sense? His recession is different than a Joe Biden recession. His recession is different than a J.D. Vance recession. It's different. That's what I'm saying. If it's just a regular Republican who's running and he has a recession in this situation, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying not only are the people thinking they were going to go back to that $2 gas or whatever like that, not only they thinking they're going back to that, he promised to take them back to that. So I think they'll make the Republicans pay for that in the midterms if he don't. So guys, we're about to go over some Republican candidates, man. You know what I'm saying? This isn't me, y'all. So this is according to The Hill. This is a news story. You know what I'm saying? I think all of this is gonna, the next 12 months. If you go backwards, the Democrats are going to get power. If the Democrats get power, President Trump will be, listen to me. I'm going to give you a second now. I'm going to let you catch up with me. If the Democrats get power, President Trump on a daily basis will be praying for that Jeffrey Epstein story. He going to pray for it every day. Listen to me. If the Democrats get power, President Trump, you're going to be praying that they talking about Jeffrey Epstein. I'm telling you what's coming down that pipeline. I've been saying it the whole time. President Trump's first 2 years, last time he was president, follow me, right? It's almost the script. It's almost identical. Besides, the stock market didn't go down. It just, everything was up. Most of everything was up. Towards the end, before COVID, his job numbers slowed down too. If you don't remember, if you guys aren't familiar, yeah, his job numbers slowed way down. And comparing them with President Obama, you know what I'm saying? But that's a different conversation. What I'm saying is the pictures to me look almost similar. You know what happened 2 years in after he was president? The Democrats flipped it. They got the House back. And when they got the House back, we see the rest of the story. 2 impeachments in 2 years. And I could promise you that's going to happen again, if not worse, if they win. That's what's at stake. I'm saying, bro, you cutting people funding? Like Governor Newsom and President Trump, they have, you know what I'm saying? Governor Newsom, his ex-wife worked or she a Republican, so you know that is what that is. But what I'm saying, besides that, you cutting funding for California, cutting funding for Pennsylvania, you going after Harvard. I'm saying he waging complete war against them. I'm saying if they get that gavel back, the impeachment, that's probably going to be first order of business. They're going to find a reason. Or are we saying Jeffrey Epstein, that story would be a lot bigger? You know what I'm saying? So that's just in 2026. But we talking about the candidates for president, that'll change too, depending on how the American people feel about how he did in his job, okay? So President Trump is, in this is The Hill. It was published on August 31st, okay? So President Trump has at times entertained the idea of seeking a third term, a notion encouraged by some of the most combative voices in the MAGA world, such as Steve Bannon. The near universal expert view is that, such a quest would be flagrantly unconstitutional. President Trump would also be 82 by election day in 2028, assuming President Trump exits the White House. You see how they talking, man? Assuming President Trump exits the White House for the final time at the end of this second term, the battle to succeed him will be fierce. Number one contender. Who y'all got for number one? Vice President J.D. Vance. He's the obvious interior of President Trump's mantle. What y'all think about Vice President Vance? Usually when we speak about MAGA, when we talk about carrying the legacy forward, a lot of people, they say, JD, you know what I'm saying? You got a 39-year-old vice president. You know what I'm saying? He's extremely smart. He's extremely brilliant. I would say, even though he's young and inexperienced, he's in that MAGA world, and he's probably as close to the old guard Republican I could think of before he got into Maga. So I would say definitely JD would be a prime candidate. 10,000%, especially being the vice president, having that experience. Definitely, right? The vice president has long ago abandoned the criticisms of President Trump, which he previously had. Despite the vigor of those critiques, he mulled to a friend in 2016 whether Trump could end up being America's Hitler. He appears to have been forgiven by the MAGA base. I don't even know why they putting this in this news story. Vance has helped in connecting with Trump's working class supporters by his famously difficult upbringing, as memorialized in his book, Hillbilly Elegy. That's something for the Republicans to lay a stake in. You know what I'm saying? Being able to identify with the working class. That's what I'm saying. The majority of them voted for President Trump. One's making under $50,000 a year. He connected with them. But I'm saying your policies have to connect with them too. You can't just connect with them with words. You got to connect with them with policies too. The vice president also shares President Trump's isolationist instincts on foreign policy, a tendency most obviously seen when the duo berated Ukrainian Prime Minister Vladimir Zelensky in the Oval Office earlier this year. Vance is often combative with the media, but he has not made many enemies within the Trump-era GOP. Figures like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, what's up, Big Pete? Health Secretary RFK and FBI Director Kash Patel are all much more controversial within the party. But for now, there is no real doubt that Vice President Vance is a front runner to succeed President Trump. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. All of these candidates that we naming, you know what I'm saying? I want you guys down in the comments below, y'all discussing it. Who you think would be able to carry on the MAGA brand? Do you think that MAGA will outlive President Trump and outlive 2028? You know what I'm saying? All of these names that I'm naming, though, the Republican field will look a lot different if President Trump becomes a lot more unpopular than he already is. I'm saying you're looking at probably mid-40s. If you go by the Rasmussen or Real Clear Politics, you probably say low to mid-40s his approval rating, bro. That's lower than the other presidents, but I'm saying that's not that bad for him. If you looking at the number of voters he started out with. But I'm saying if you start seeing Rasmussen, those polls getting down in the upper 30s or the lower to mid 30s, man. Boy, oh boy. Number 2, Don Trump Jr. What y'all think about President Trump's son running for president? Y'all think he could etch out J.D. Vance in the Republican primary? You know what I'm saying? I'm saying if you got what you got to think of is that the MAGA. It's just a question. Good morning, Reagan. What's up, baby? It's just a question of whether or not they've taken over the Republican Party. To me, if I look at J.D. Vance, even though like MAGA, yeah, but I'm gonna say look at him as like he's like that old like a Mike Pence type. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he got different ideals. He's a lot younger, libertarian leaning, a cross between Mike Pence and Ron Paul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when you think about Don Trump Jr., if the Republican Party is a MAGA party, then Don Trump Jr., he has to. Am I right or wrong? I'm saying, look at, dude, when you come to the primaries, the name recognition alone, if President Trump isn't on the ballot, but you got a Trump on the ballot. And if they like his personality, as a matter of fact, I would say if President Trump, if his administration does good this time, I say Don Trump would be dangerous. He'd be real dangerous. You say, why is that, Ghost? Because I think he's probably not as shrewd as his pops is. He's definitely younger. The reputation probably isn't as bad, even though his dad's reputation ain't bad enough for him to not be elected president. So why Don Trump Jr. couldn't do it? And he has that Trump name. President Trump probably feel like he's an heir. I'm just saying, the Democrats right now, bro, they about to shoot through the phone at me. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm saying for the Republicans, though, I mean, if you MAGA, I mean, it's another Trump. Donald Trump Jr.'s lofty position on this list is rooted less in his political skills. This isn't me talking, this is them, which are unproven at best, than in the plausible possibility he would benefit from his father's hold on the party. Most definitely he would. You know what I'm saying? The elder Trump Reagan, I'm gonna get down there in just a second. The elder Trump, hey, look, I'm gonna say this real quick about Jeffrey. Jeffrey provided information. I'm finding this about. I found a lovely young lady last night on YouTube, and she was saying how Jeffrey O. Epstein was providing information to the CIA that was detrimental to the national security of the United States. We'll talk about that in just a second, okay? So the elder Trump has been able to survive numerous two impeachments, January 6th and felony convictions on 34 counts. But he inspires such fervent personal loyalty from his base. The question is whether the father's supporters would transfer their allegiance to his eldest son. The younger Trump, for now, mostly confines himself to aggressive social media posts, equally fury podcast called Triggered, and tending to his business interests. One doubt around the younger Trump is whether he would bring the same negatives as his father. Both men are widely loathed by liberals and without the same positives with the GOP base. Still, a second Trump candidacy will automatically have to be taken seriously. That's what I said too, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I just could see that happening. I mean, if you are on that MAGA bandwagon and you want to see the legacy continue, you know what I'm saying? J.D. Vance, even though he is a part of that coalition, I would say that, you know what I'm saying, the way he would govern would be definitely different than President Trump. Maybe not so much on foreign policy, but a lot of other things would definitely be different than President Trump. I don't know if Don would, I mean, it's like you almost getting another Trump presidency. You see what I'm saying? So that's a tough spot, in my opinion, for the vice president to be in when you're running against the president's son. Imagine if President Biden had to run against Sasha Obama. You know what I'm saying? you kind of are carrying on that Obama legacy because you was his vice president, but you running against his actual son, a businessman too, who's in that same organization. Just food for thought. Guys, as y'all come into the stream, make sure y'all double tap the screen for your boy, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell. Also, guys, super chats, super stickers, super thanks. They start at 99 cents, y'all. We really need to get those donations up. You guys just hit the button with the $ below. Your donations are much appreciated. I want to tell you guys also, We the People 3 is now available to be watched on YouTube. This is the 52nd day of the We the People tour. So make sure you guys, whenever you guys get a chance, the link's in the bio. You just click on the video tab if you want to and go check that out. More importantly, Republicans, Independents, Democrats down below, probably especially Republicans, let me know what y'all think. Senator Tom Cotton, his decision to pass on a 2024 race for the GOP nomination looks wise in retrospect. President Trump would almost certainly have been the victor, whomever he ran against, and Cotton's image with the Maga faithful has not been blemished by any perceived disloyalty. Cotton, who is an Army veteran, thank you for your service, sir, who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, has a sure touch for the kind of political positioning that has visceral appeal for many Republican voters. One recent example in his instance, that former special counsel Jack Smith should be investigated for, in Cotton's view, improperly seeking to influence the 2024 election by his criminal prose of President Trump. Smith, through his lawyers, has empathetically denied this. So see, this is another person I don't even think about, Tom Cotton. We know about J.D. Vance, you know what I'm saying? We know about President Trump's son. I don't think about Tom Cotton, but yeah, he's another one. What about Senator Ted Cruz from Texas? The 2016 GOP primary seems a very, very long time ago, but back then, Senator Ted Cruz was by far President Trump's most serious rival, okay? President Cruz, Senator Cruz called Trump a pathological liar and famously declined to endorse him in that year's Republican National Convention. Cruz has positioned himself in far more Trump-friendly ways since then, and he is one of the best-known Republicans nationwide. There's no doubt about the Texas senator's fervent conservatism on cultural and economic issues alike. The bigger question is whether he is too distrusted in some Maga quarters to win. So they're still assuming that after 2028, that Maga will pretty much be running the Republican Party. What you guys think? Guys, make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, guys. We almost through the list of Republican candidates to replace President Trump. I'm gonna step out the way for just a second, guys. We're gonna take just a minute. We've been streaming about 54 minutes. When I come back, we're gonna blaze through these final candidates. I'm gonna open up the floor for you guys questions, and then we'll go ahead and close out. So guys, make sure y'all liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Okay, guys, so let's get through this, man, and I'm gonna open up the chat so we could discuss anything if y'all want to. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So Marco suffers from the same problems as Senator Cruz through his current position at the heart of the Trump administration. It could help him or it will hurt him. Rubio, like Cruz, run against President Trump. He's frequent presence on television now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's really much to say about Marco. We know Marco, you know what I'm saying? You know, he is definitely in the running for, you know what I'm saying, carrying on that mantle. But, you know, one thing out of all of these candidates so far, let's keep going, though, and we'll get to that. So Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. So Governor Ron DeSantis has helped rehabilitate himself with voters loyal to President Trump in recent months by championing alligator Alcatraz Alcatraz, the highly controversial immigration detention facility in Florida's Everglades. President Trump visited the facility during the summer, but it's actually ran by the state of Florida and thus ultimately by DeSantis. A judge has ordered the facility closed amid a case that DeSantis has fiercely contested. The governor also announced earlier this month that his state will open a second facility, which is called Deportation Depot. I'm going to stop right there for you guys just a second. Man, come on, bro. So you got Alligator Alcatraz and you have Deportation Depot. If you ask anybody in Maga or you ask any Republican, they'll say that Governor DeSantis' turn is next. I highly disagree with that. I don't think it's going to happen. There is no way following the presidency of President Trump that America is swinging further to the right. It's not happening. Let me say that one more time. I'm saying if you want to guarantee a loss in a general election, that's why I started the content the way I did, because I know it's a lot of people who gonna be hopeful, and I'm here to dash your dreams. If you think America is swinging further to the right after President Trump, you have lost your mind. So if they nominate a candidate like that, the Republican Party guarantee L. On top of that, if President Trump's administration doesn't do that good, the Maga, they love Governor DeSantis. They love him. He further right than President Trump. I'm saying, look at all the controversy that's going. And President Trump, everything he said he was going to do, he's doing everything he said he was going to do, right, on immigration. Look at all the controversy that has came since President Trump has done everything he said he was going to do. Look at the controversy. Immigration related. So I'm saying when you're going to run a general election, you have all the controversy related to immigration, and then you have Governor DeSantis with his Alligator Alcatraz and his Deportation Depot. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, he running against Don Jr., he running against J.D. Vance, he running against Tim Cotton and Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. And that's not the end of it. I don't think America gonna go further to the right. But this next candidate, though, I'm about to tell you about, if the Republicans were any kind of smart, this is who they're gonna nominate. Number 7, Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri. He could pull a surprise 2028 if he were to run. He's a young senator. He's a good-looking senator, and he talks with a lot of common sense. He's very smart, very educated. He's like a Josh Shapiro, how the Democrats have Josh Shapiro, right? So with Governor Shapiro, he won probably, I'll say 58% of the vote in Pennsylvania. He probably gonna get over 60%. He wins a lot of President Trump supporters because he's a centrist. He'll do things to help out. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, okay, God, for you guys to understand this, I want you guys to realize this. I think that Josh Hawley is a Democratic version of what Governor Shapiro is to the Republicans. He's like a middle of the road type Republican, common sense Republican. Besides President Trump himself, he is the Republican who courts working class support more than any other. Young guy, very smart. He is a vigorous critic of stock trading by members of Congress. He's against corruption. For example, and he made an unlikely alliance with Senator Bernie Sanders. I don't know if Maga is ready for that, but that's what America needs, someone like Senator Hawley, excuse me. He is also more pro-labor than most Republicans, a stance reflected and moves like him pushing a bill that would be pressed employers not to use delaying tactics when negotiating union contracts. Bro, he for the people. Don't it sound like he for the people, man? That's what it sounds like. Critics on the left say Hawley's efforts as opposed, especially given his staunch social conservatism, he is also regarded with some suspicion by some members of his own party, but a Hawley bid is one of the most intriguing possibilities. Hey, so Marco, Brian C., what's up, my brother? Good morning. Thank you for that donation. I want to see everybody go ahead and like Brian C.'s donation. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you can do just what he did too, and I would appreciate it. So Brian says that Marco Rubio, he says that Hawley is his senator. Brian, what's wrong with Josh, though? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with Josh? I think a middle of the road Republican would be great for the Republican Party. You don't think so, Brian? Please let me know. Okay, number 8, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's one of the most popular of the Republicans. We seen Marjorie Taylor Greene step out in support of getting those Epstein files out there. I've seen her. I followed her on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like the Congress person that I love the most, you know, Bernie Sanders. Well, he's a senator. You got AOC. You got Jasmine Crockett. You know what I'm saying? Marjorie Taylor Greene. She probably don't see eye to eye with the ones that I really, really do like. But I've seen her stand up for issues that I care about, especially as of late. She would be the most controversial possible choice by any GOP title, which is stiff competition. The Georgia Congresswoman has been an inflammatory figure in American politics since she first won her seat in 2020. She has tangled with numerous Democrats. What I'm saying right now, once getting in a particularly heated contempt with Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just off the House floor, bro. I love AOC. You know what I'm saying? She's also mixed it up with fellow Republicans like Representative Lauren Boebert and Maga influences like Laura Loomer. Brian C. says that Hawley is a far-right conservative. He is, Brian. I did not know that. But if he is, that's still cool, man. I heard him speak. I've seen his policies. You know what I'm saying? I've heard his ideas, man. He's a bright young mind for America. You know what I'm saying? Bright young mind, man, to represent the Republican Party. Brian C., I thank you for that donation. You guys, please like his donation. Also, you guys, if y'all want to donate to the channel, also feel free to do so, okay? We talking about right now Marjorie Taylor Greene. So Greene intriguingly, has been to the fore among the GOP in expressing opposition to Israel actions in Gaza. In July, she became the first Republican member of Congress to call those deeds a genocide. That's what I'm saying, man. Marjorie Taylor Greene, man, we've seen her take stands. You know what I'm saying? That I wouldn't think that maybe we wouldn't see a Republican or somebody who is in support of President Trump. She's taking stands that are quite surprising. You know what I'm saying? That could be refreshing for a Democrat, or for an independent. You could look at it and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she isn't as far right as we think she is. Maybe she isn't as aligned with President Trump as we think she is. Maybe she can make decisions on the fly for the good of America. Maybe she can reach across the aisle and work with some Democrats. I seen her shaking Bo Connor's hand not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? Maybe her mixing it up with a lot of Democrats has made her not necessarily softer. She's still standing firm, but softer to, or more receptive to hearing what other people have to say. And that's always a good thing. We need that in politics, okay? So the following months, she caused another stir by accusing her own party of having turned its back on America first and workers and just regular Americans. Is she electable nationally? Many people would say no, and it would be a huge gamble on the GOP's part to even consider nominating her. If that's the case, man, why y'all put her on the list then? You know what I'm saying? I would completely disagree with that. I would just say, let the people try. Let the people decide. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, last but not least, we got Senator Tim Scott, who is a famously affable even in an increasingly autonomous Senate and is well regarded by President Trump and by virtually every faction in today's GOP. He's also the sole black Republican senator, a status that could perhaps help the GOP make further inroads with black voters if he were to somehow make it to the nomination. Scott never really got traction in 2020. Today, however, and there's no obvious reason to believe he would vault past the people higher up this list in 2028. So that being said, guys, I ask that y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell, man. Y'all see my boy Brian C, man. He keep on donating to the channel. Brian, I appreciate that. You guys, y'all go like Brian's his super thanks, his super sticker. If you guys want to also donate, the donation start at 99 cents. Also, guys, channel memberships are $2.99. We need to work on getting those channel memberships up. So, guys, y'all just hit the button below with the $sign in it, and your donations are much appreciated. Brian C says Josh Hawley is a great senator. He represents the state of Missouri very well. I agree with you too, Brian, man. I agree. I think that Josh Hawley is a great senator. As I say, man, I just listened to the Congress people talk. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I just listened to her talk as of late. You know, when she first started going against AOC, of course, going against Jasmine, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to agree with 99% of that. But as of late, you know what I'm saying, seeing her with Bokana and the situation with Iran and her speaking up on some things, it lets me know that she possibly could be independent and have her own mind to think that that's what every politician should be, even if she's allied with President Trump. So Brian, again, with that $2 super chat, thank you for the donation, my brother. He said, I used to like MTG, but I think she's a Jewish hater. Do y'all think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a Jewish hater, man? Is that what y'all think? I don't think that she is, Brian. She might be, but I don't think, bro, because I know she's a devout Christian. The thing about it is that she probably feels that Bibi Netanyahu needs to get replaced. Because she probably knows information, you know what I'm saying? Inside information. I think that's all it is. I think she supports Israel. You know what I'm saying? She just probably isn't for Bibi Netanyahu remaining the Prime Minister of Israel. Brian C, thank you for that donation, my brother. You guys get your likes up. Y'all keep liking the video. So make sure y'all subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We've been streaming about 1 hour. I gave y'all 9 candidates, man. I delivered the content for you guys. Make sure day 52 of the We the People tour, guys. We got vlogs up. Y'all go right now. Y'all can leave the stream right now. I gave y'all the content. Y'all can come back and watch it. Go to the video tab under the Legal Wars Live page, man. Click on that video tab. We the People 3's up. We the People 2 is up. You guys go check out all the great content. Make sure if y'all have not liked the video, y'all double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Brian C, thank you for the love. Thank you for the donations, guys. I'm going to take a few more minutes, man. Y'all get the comments down there and we could start a conversation. So, Brian C, I want to ask you, who would be your nomination to take over the mantle on the Republican side for President Trump, Brian? Who you got? Who would you pick? You got Don Jr., you got Vice President Vance, you got a couple of more people. Who would you pick? I think you guys should also forget about Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley, I think, would be, listen, let me say this. People would think as long as Nikki Haley stayed in that Republican primary that President Trump would put her in his cabinet. He declined to do so. That might be a good thing for her. You know what I'm saying? It might be a good thing for her because if things don't go good in his administration, she could say, hey, I supported his policies, so her voters don't all the way hate her. His voters don't all the way hate her. But at the same time, she could say, hey, I'll go a different direction than President Trump. I think Nikki Haley is a great prospect for the Republican Party as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's somebody who wasn't on the list. You know what I'm saying? Kristi Noem, she was the governor of South Dakota. She's the Homeland Security Secretary. She could also run too. You know what I'm saying? That's someone who isn't on the list as well. So Brian says Marco Rubio. Of course, man. Marco Rubio is from Florida. He's a beloved senator, man. I'm not even going to lie. Like, Marco was probably... Look, I'm going to say it like this. If things don't go right in President Trump's administration, and say America says that, hey, or say the Republican Party says, hey, he had 4 years. We're not worried about him with the voters no more. We're going to go ahead and step on him. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to take the Republican Party back. Say if they went that direction, I think out of all of the MAGA candidates that Marco could survive that the best. You know what I'm saying? You know, Ted Cruz, you know, he never really part of the administration. So I think Ted Cruz probably got an inside straight. But I think that Marco could survive that the best out of the people in President Trump's administration, because Marco had a reputation with the Republicans and among the Republican Party before he ever worked for President Trump. So, Brian, see, I think that people just looking at Marco Rubio as the person he is, them already liking him. I told you I was fond of him. They're probably the Republican I like the most. Looking at Marco, out of all the people who are in President Trump's administration, him actually working and doing the work as Secretary of State that he's doing, I say out of all those people, it helps him. I really do. But like I said, I'm biased. It don't matter what I think. You know, it matters what the voters think. But I think out of the candidates, the 9 that they listed on that list, I would definitely say that Marco probably would be. You know what I'm saying? But again, you got Nikki Haley. You don't know how it's going to go. President Trump's administration do good, then, you know, all of those candidates are viable. But if his administration doesn't do as well, like if we hit a recession, I think that, you know what I'm saying, people in 2028, you're going to see it. The candidates are going to start distancing themselves from him. They always do that, or they usually do that. You know what I'm saying? They usually do that if the incumbent party didn't do as well. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, they're going to get slaughtered, because the people are going to vote against the incumbent party if they don't like the last 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Brian C., he got thumbs down to J.D. Vance, man. What's wrong with J.D., man? You know what I'm saying? Thumbs down to J.D. Vance, man. I'm hearing, I heard that a little bit in circles. Thank you for the donation. Make sure everybody, y'all go like Brian C. donation. Thank you, sir. You know what I'm saying, for your support. He's always been a supporter. Look, I've heard a couple of things as of late. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the situation with President Trump and the health scare. That's what I call it. You know what I'm saying? So I heard some things as of late with Vice President Vance. But Brian C. says, I know you big Republican and everything. You know what's going on over there in MAGA world. What's up with Vice President Vance, man? Why you got the thumbs down for him? I thought he was like the first choice, Brian C. But yeah, if you ask me though, I would say I would say Marco and Ted Cruz probably would be do. If you had to ask me right now today, I would say Marco and Ted, because they got history. You know what I'm saying? Governor DeSantis, I would say he probably gonna do really good in that Republican primary. He's a super conservative, but I don't know if the Republican Party is gonna actually put him on the ballot, because I think he's further right than President Trump. And I've never seen, like, the country's not swinging to the right. I could promise you. After these 4 years, it's not going to swing to the right. You just got to be that smart. So if the country, look, we don't know how far left it's going to swing, but we can already see it has already swung. It's swinging left. And I think how bad President Trump does will determine how far left it swings. So if I was speaking for the Republican Party, I definitely would run a more center candidate. I think whoever puts a center candidate up there will win. I think Nikki Haley is center. I think Marco Rubio is that old Republican guard. He's center. Ted Cruz is more right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how good Ted Cruz would do, but I think Marco would do good. I think JD won't do that bad because he's more like a center Republican than me too. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Nikki Haley, in my opinion, the closer to the center, because it's gonna swing back left now. Will it swing all the way left? Is it gonna swing AOC left? Is it gonna swing Andy Beshear left? Is it gonna swing Gavin Newsom left? You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people, for a regular Republican, they'll look at Governor Newsom and AOC and they'll say there's really not much difference. For a regular Republican, not, but for a progressive, there is. You see what I'm saying? So how left will America swing, man? I'm just saying, if you looking at Republican candidates and you looking at Governor DeSantis, I got Alcatraz. Listen. First of all, Brian, thank you for that donation again. He said polls still shows that the country moving towards the right. Right now, Brian, you could say that. But this is what I'm saying. I know you want to hear my brother to start the beginning of the stream, but the beginning of the stream, Catelin Drey, this is last week, the end of August. She had a special election, okay? She in a red state, Iowa. If you say Iowa, you might have said Mississippi, Alabama, Texas. I wouldn't even say Texas. It's more red than Texas. You know what I'm saying? She in a super red state. She in a red district, okay, where President Trump won by 10 points, and she in a rural county. So that's red on red on red, and she won. A Democrat beat a Republican. If you look at those special elections, and how those special elections, listen, there was 2 special elections in Florida. Both of them were in districts that President Trump won by 10 or 15 or more points, and they all swung left. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about the polling and how they doing the polling, Brian, but I'm saying if you look, then history. This happens, this is history. The incumbent party has a difficult time holding on to power in America. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, if you looking at history, after every presidency, let's go. You got Ronald Reagan. He got 2 elections. He was extraordinary. I'll give you that. Behind him, you got a Bush. And then what happened? The country said, nah, we're going to swing left. And then you had President Clinton for 2 terms. And then what happened? The country said, nah, we're going to swing back right. And then you had President Bush for 2 terms. And then what happened? The country said, nah, we're going to go back left. And then you got President Trump for a term. And what then? You see what I'm saying? You get the point. If I was a betting person, because if I bet on sports, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for those kind of patterns. Okay? Now, if I was a betting person, I'm going to bet that the country is swinging left. You might could get lucky and say, hey, we squeezed in a Republican, but you're not going to squeeze in a far right Republican. I could guarantee you that. Guarantee. If you look at those job numbers with adding less Brian C, he says he's talking to Feisty Post. Hold up. Let's see. I want to get what it is. He says Dolores Turner, not true. He says Republicans will pick back up that beautiful morning, Reggie. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, you said they're going to pick up that seat back in Iowa. Maybe so. Maybe so. But what I'm saying, Brian C., I don't think they should have won it in the first place, right? They shouldn't have had a chance in the first place, bro. Listen, imagine if you're a Democrat and you come into a Democratic house, okay? And you come into, let's go to Los Angeles. You in Los Angeles, okay? And you in a district where a Democrat won by 30 points, or let's say 10 points. You in Los Angeles in a district where a Democrat won by 10 points. I'm not trying to call nobody's name. I'm just making a point, okay? Look, if I look at this map as a strategist, if I'm devising any kind of strategy in politics, I'm going to look at the map and I'm going to say, okay, this is a blue state. So we got a thumb up, okay? We got a Democrat on the ballot in a blue state. That don't mean nothing, but that's a good thing. And then I'm gonna go further. They're in Los Angeles, so the demographics or the politics of voting for a Democrat in a large city like that looks pretty good. And then you go say, okay, well, VP Harris won this district by 11 points. So if you ask me, if that Democrat is on that ballot in that election, what would be the reason why that Democrat will lose that election? Because if you had to bet money, you finna bet your money if you know what you're doing that they gonna win. I don't care if they win by a point or two. You will automatically assume, if you know what you're doing and you understand the history of politics, that you're going to take a step or two over to the left. That's just the history of politics in America against the incumbent. But a step over or two to the left in a red district, in red America, in a red state, that a red president ran by 10 red points, and you lose that. That ain't nothing but a referendum on the job that's being done. You add 22,000 jobs. Jerome Powell gave in to that rate cut. The stock market looking good, but the economy without some tweaking is showing signs of slowing. If it slows down a whole lot, the Medicaid and Medicare cuts, they hurt people. And on top of that, a slowed economy, inflation, everything's still the same, then I could promise you in 2026, the Democrats at least taking the House. At least. I could assure you that. Assure you. I don't think a rebate check to all Americans will stop them from taking the House. I really don't. You redistricting, you might lose. Look, I'm going to redistrict Texas to pick up 5 seats. You might do that and lose 2 seats. Because you redistrict 5, Cali redistrict 5, New York a redistrict, Illinois a redistrict. They got more to redistrict. You can't redistrict Iowa. You see what I'm saying? You can't redistrict Alabama. Yeah, you got all the red seats. It ain't no more seats to redistrict. You can't redistrict. They got all the people. They got New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Houston. That's all the population of the entire South. Listen to me. Learn you something. Let me teach you something. Metro New York, what we looking at? About 10 million, 11 million, between 10 and 12 million, right? Metro Chicago, well, not Metro, Metro Chicago, we're not going to count no city limit population, okay? And you talking about Metro Chicago, if you really talking, really Chicago running through 3 states. You look at Milwaukee, they voting the same as Chicago. Gary, Indiana, that's Chicago. But look, let's just say Metro Chicago within the state of Illinois, let's say about 8 million. You got Metro Los Angeles, you got about 9-10 million. Metro Houston, 7-8 million. Bro, that right there, that's 25 million people in 4 cities. Mississippi got 3 million people. Alabama probably got about 4-5 million people. You see what I'm saying? You put all them states across the South, rural America, it's way more land. But I'm saying the Democrats got more to work with to where they could pull seats if you want to play that game. So actually redistricting, because California redistrict 5 too. So Texas redistricting, you might end up losing seats with the Democrats playing that game. I don't think that's going to help you. I don't think you could do, I don't think you're moving no needles like that. Bottom line is if them prices are not cheaper, if Medicaid and Medicare are cut, and if, it's that simple. You can't, I don't think you're going to be able to get around it, man. And Red G and Brian C, I know I got a Democrat and Republican channel members, been here since day one, both of y'all. To me, it's all going to come down to the next 12 months. If we see a recession in America, listen to me. In 2026, if people who the people on this stream, they know they gonna believe me, because they know when I talk like this, I be dead right. Just go back and look at the content. If we see a recession in America before next summer, the Republican Party in Congress is finished. Look, you might even lose the Senate if you get a recession. It's over with. I could promise you that. It's over with. You can't redraw no lines. You can't do nothing. That's what happens every 2 years after a president wins the White House. When President Obama won the White House, 2 years later, what happened? You came in with the majority. That's the only way you was able to get that health care through. You got rushed that through. They got that through at the vet right before, because then Republicans came back in. They took over. That's what happens. What happened with President Biden? What happened President Trump first term? That's what's on the agenda, bro. And President Trump and them know it. But redrawing the lines ain't how you do it. How you gonna have to do it? You gonna have to roll your sleeves up. You're going to have to roll your pants leg up, and you're going to have to get down there in the gutter with them people. That's all it is. That's the name of the game. All the politicians who are in the gutter, they're beloved. Bernie Sanders is beloved by the people. You feel that? AOC, she is beloved by the people. Jasmine is beloved by the people. They love them. They fight for the people. You see what I'm saying? That's why President Trump won. That's why he won. The people looked at him. He was the people's choice, you know? But I'm saying, like, you don't have enough billionaires in all those districts across America that's going to help get you reelected in all those districts, bro. You done cut 20%. That's what Tom Tillis said. Okay, he's the Senate Majority Leader. 20% of the people in his district. I'm not saying that. This is what he said. This is what he said. He went to Speaker Johnson, and he had that bill, that big, beautiful bill, and he looking at it. He a Republican now. You know, he got a re-election coming up in 2026. So he ain't playing no games. If your re-election ain't up till 2028, you might be thinking, hey, President Trump will be gone. Maybe we'll get a good Republican on top of the ticket. So yeah. He ain't got that kind of luxury. He up for election at 22. You know, he said 20%, 1 out of 5 people in his district would be affected by that Medicaid and Medicare cuts. Now, when I was looking through that bill, I don't think a lot of those cuts ain't coming into effect till 2026, probably after the midterms if the Republicans were smart. But here's the thing about that, though. Here's the thing. I could promise you one thing. Tom Tillis said he wasn't even going to election. Because if in your district, I don't care if it's 10% of the people are affected by the Medicare and Medicaid cuts and they vote against you, you through. That's the Democratic stronghold. Is healthcare again. Affordability again. I said that from the get-go. And every candidate that the Democrat, I'm saying this, bro, in November, December. Because in November, December, the Republicans just know that it's over with. They've completely dominated American politics because they won a popular vote for the first time in 25 years. They feel like the Democrats are dead and all of that. And I said that it's going to depend on one thing, the same thing that President Trump won by. If he would not have owned inflation, I don't know if he would have won. If he would not have said, I know I could get these prices back down to where they was during my first administration, I don't know if he would have won. But because he did say that, the voters are going to hold him to that. And if he does not do that, they can't vote him on a ballot or off a ballot, then they're going to get the closest thing to him. So if you got an R by your name going into 2026, A lot of they already know. I told you, Tom. He's the speaker. He's the Senate Majority Leader. He already know it. It seemed like President Trump and them know it too. They trying to redistrict Texas. They already see it. You can't. You gotta roll your sleeves up. You gotta go against your party. I don't care what your party's saying. This is how you be great. You know what I'm saying? Let me explain something to you, okay? Look. So, say you the parent, and so say you say you the daddy, right? And you married a woman, and she got 3 kids, and you got your 3 kids. So she got her 3 kids, and you got your 3 kids. And say her 3 kids and your 3 kids is in a fight. That's really what the Republican Democrat is, just children, okay? So you got her 3 kids, but you daddy. You see what I'm saying? You daddy. So they come to you, your wife coming to you, and the kids coming to you because you daddy, so you the leader. They looking at you as the leader. If you side with your kids every time, you will never be a great leader. Does that make sense? If all the policies that you do as a Republican president are Republican policies, how can you be great? How will you ever be great? You can only get lucky. That's what I call it, just get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Because you can never be great. Listen, America is comprised of what? It was like, what? 39% Republican, and what, like, I think it was 34% Democrats, and the rest are independents. I'm saying you only getting what, 40%. Listen, how many millions of dollars did Elon spend? Okay, with the money he spent, base of the Republican Party or President Trump's base is right at 39% of the electorate. 39%. So I'm gonna spend all of this money, and I'm gonna pull in about 8 or 9%. The coalition he brought in was about 8 or 9% of the vote, of the popular vote, which was good because that's how President Trump won. You see what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying you could spend all that money, you only moving you didn't move the needle more than 7 or 8 points. So I'm saying if you got a candidate that you putting on a ballot who isn't as popular as Donald J. Trump, Ron DeSantis is not that popular. There ain't no candidate, even Don Jr. ain't that popular. So I'm saying your policies got to be coming with it. And I'm just saying the Democrats, I believe the Democrats are going to have a candidate this time, and they're going to be like a Barack Obama type candidate. He ain't do nothing for you. He promised he was going to do all of that. The prices ain't just go lower, they got higher, just like we said they was doing. He ain't do nothing for you. He gave the rich people a tax break. But if you vote for me, let me tell you what I'm finna do for you. I'm gonna give you a free phone. I'm gonna give you a free house. I'm gonna give you a free car. I'm gonna give your kids free students. I'm gonna give you the whole world for free. All you gotta do is vote for me. That's how the Democrats coming. And I'm saying that if you hadn't done enough for them poor people who left that Democratic Party to vote for you, this a lot of Democrats, a lot of people making under $50,000 a year. This is the first time they ever vote for a Republican. So they come to this side, and if you don't do nothing for them, you know what they're gonna say? At least on that side, we know they're gonna give us this. At least on that side, we know they're gonna give us that. But President Trump, we thought he was going to, but guess we're gonna go back blue. I'm saying even if President Trump did give them what they were looking for, I'm saying to be able to hold that coalition, which Democrat was able to hold President Obama's coalition? VP Harris couldn't hold that coalition. Ain't nobody could hold that coalition but him. So why would any Republican be able to hold President Trump's coalition? It come down to policies, man. You got to roll your sleeves up. I'm telling you, if you got a candidate like a Bernie Sanders, when people look at Bernie Sanders, they look at him like he's for them, like he's going to do something to help them. The people of Vermont, they know where Bernie Sanders is a senator at. But I'm saying the rest of America, we don't know if he ever will do anything for anybody if he was elected president. But when they look at him, that's what they think about him. He's going to fight for them because that's what he talks. He talks and walks that. He talks against rich people and against, I'm saying a candidate like that against a Republican Party where the inflation is the same. We could hit a recession. Nothing really changed. Medicare, Medicaid, everybody gonna be mad. I'm trying to tell you, and I think the Republicans know it. And if you get an AOC, that type of candidate who has a track record, you could go right on YouTube and you could see that young lady screaming and hollering at the top of her lungs, trying to save grandma's insurance. She has a track record of doing that. The people love her. They're gonna vote for her. I promise you that. Look, the reason why the Democrats lost, people say it was because of the economy. I always disagree with that. I don't think the economy was that bad. I think it had more to do with inflation, but I don't think the economy was that bad. Like, because the economy wasn't that bad, you see what I'm saying? I believe President Trump, he able to talk about like transgenders and other social issues to help push, you know what I'm saying? Inflation was bad enough. Inflation bad enough to where people were kind of like, But I'm saying if Joe Biden was running against a regular Republican and he could just say, hey, this is inflation, that's one thing. But he ran against the president today, right before inflation, President Trump was president. So the people, it's like a psychological thing. They seen President Trump and remember low prices. They remember COVID checks, so they automatically equated him with that. And not only did they equate it, he owned that. He at the hurricane thing. Now remember, they only give you $750. Remember, I gave y'all $1,400. I put my name. Remember that. Remember when he was president. When I was president, stuff was much lower. He owned that because he owned that. If that's not corrected, guess who the voters gonna take it out on? You don't believe me? I gave you all the information now for you to know. I know what I'm talking about. You see the special elections. You see the special elections, right? So that's letting you know where the voters are going or where they feel it. Okay? Because just go in the store. Is your life that much better than it was before? That's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got Red G up in here. What's up, Red G? He says, COVID and all those natural disasters made by Russia and China. Trump was the first president to borrow $3 trillion for COVID. He said, you right, Ghost? Yeah, man, that's just how I feel pretty much, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, my view on it. Well, I think the best thing to do, like if I was the Republicans, I would get down with the people immediately. You can't lose with the people because they're the ones voting. You see what I'm saying? You need the billionaires' money to run your elections and your campaigns. But I'm saying if I'm a lie to somebody, listen to me now. In politics, you're probably going to have to tell a lie. It's the nature of the business, okay? If I'm a lie to somebody, I'm a lie to the billionaire. I'm not going to lie to the voter. Politicians do it different. They think the voters are stupid and they just chase the money. But in my mind, I think the billionaires are stupid and I think the people need the help. That's what I got elected for, is to help the people. That's what I care about, is helping the people. So if I'm going to tell a lie, I'm going to lie to the billionaire. Oh, yeah, man, we're going to do that for you. Take his money and don't do nothing. They lie to the people. So I'm saying, why not lie to the billionaire? Oh, yeah, we're going to do that for you. Yeah, we're going to do that for you and don't do nothing for him. It's just one dude. He lose a business. It's not going to kill him, but these people need help. And if you're not helping them, I promise you, 2026, bro, this September. You talking about you getting right on top of a year. I'm talking about, and next year is an election year. So I'm just putting it out there, man. I'm just putting it out there. Hey, y'all, I'm gonna get about we got about 10 more minutes, man. Well, a little less than that, man. Anything you guys want to say, go ahead and get it out there. Brian C, man, I thank you for your love and your support, man. You know what I'm saying? Supporting the channel. I'm gonna say it one more time, guys. We got new content up. Red G, man, I got vlogs up, man. Make sure you go check them out. Go check them out right now under the video tab. We the People 3. You know what I'm saying? Channel membership start at $2.99. Again, thank you for your love and your support. Y'all spending your time with me, man. I'm gonna take a few more seconds, man, and then we're gonna go ahead and close it out, man. So, man, y'all, it's so chilly out here, man. Like I said, I'm from South Mississippi, man. It's like it's the 1st of September. So actually, these weeks right here will be the hottest of the year. But like up here, like right now, especially out by the lake, it's like 50 degrees. It's like 50 degrees, man, but it's beautiful out here, man. You know what I'm saying? So this like day number 52, as I told y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I started in Tennessee, bro, and then I spent probably about 20 days, 3 weeks or so in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? From Tennessee, I went to Illinois, then I went to Indiana, and then I pushed into Michigan. I've been here for about 30 days, man. You know what I'm saying? This whole year on this tour, I've done 13 states. I've done over 100 cities. I did over 200 live streams. I did the vlogs and the videos together, about 20 videos. Hey, look, and at the same time, I'm filing cases too, so I'm litigating cases. So I just want to say, like, for the people who started off supporting Legal Wars Live from the beginning, how we was in Houston in the war room, you know what I'm saying, to see going from that to what we're doing right now, I think that is humongous, man. So I appreciate the support. Brian C, man, I thank you so much, man, for contributing to the channel, man. For all of you guys who are watching this, I say it all the time, man, like I'm a disabled veteran. I want to thank the veterans again for coming into the stream, man. But like, I had gotten situations where I suffer from anxiety and depression. I'm also a Christian too, man. So whenever I get in those situations like that, that's bigger than me, man, I take that situation and I put it at the feet of Jesus. You might say, Ghost, how do you put something at the feet of Jesus? Man, I get on my knees and I pray. And when I get up from that situation, whatever that is, I'm going to leave it right there. And I believe God's going to deal with that. He's going to handle that. But you can't do that until you first get a relationship with God. So I invite everyone to do that. You can get a relationship with God by getting on your knees right now and praying and asking him to forgive you of your sins. You know what I'm saying? Telling him that you accept Jesus' death as the payment for your sins. Jesus' blood washed away your sins. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got my relationship with God. I believe he saved me. He forgave me for my sins. I've been righteous ever since under his blood. That being said, man, like I said, whenever I get in a situation bigger than me, I just lay it at the feet of God. I wake up every morning thankful. I'm thankful right now to God, regardless of how difficult my situation is, could get, or might be, or might not be, how good it gets. I'm always thankful. I wake up every morning with thanksgiving and I say, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Guys, everybody, right now, y'all going over to YouTube right now under the video tabs. Click under the video tabs. We the People #3 is out right now. We the People #4, guys, this Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I almost messed up. 8 a.m. Eastern time. We the People for lifestyles and lawsuits here in Michigan. I love every last one of y'all. I gave y'all an hour and 45 minutes today. Thank you guys so much for the donation. I want to keep them donations up, man. I'll see y'all on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern for a the premiere of We the People, #4, out here in Michigan, y'all. Y'all have a great day, y'all. If y'all up here in the upper Midwest or the upper East Coast, y'all stay warm, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. I love every last one of y'all.